We on page of Zion. Talking about the inner Sabi Shoes Yankel. That Shoes is the inner for Shanaina. Yeah, what is the way that Yaakov, because in the discussion, Yaakov, Vaikach Me'avne Amok. What does it mean, Vaikach Me'avne Amok? And Savonim, he says, are the Isis, the Vashem that create the world, not just the world, they create also clippers to sit after. So it says here, Shomas Chesla Evan Chul on the bottom of the page from Zion, Yaakov took the Avnei Amokim, which maybe it even means Sidracher, and he elevated him. I guess I'm a choice of who? What's the name?
By the dream.
Father of Vayachlim, Balakul, Basel. Nee, nicht der Hort. Ja. Ja, so ist mal so Sheila is happening as Chacham Shemon Yisrael. He elevated the advantage the Madrig of Chacham. That's our choice. Boy, Shteim Shalil, Shemaka is when it's Kadmas Asechel. Not Stam Chachma, no Kadmas Asechel. Zel Mailach is Chachma Shemakesach, which goes Makamach. So that's the union of Kadmas Isis, the source of the Isis, which is Chachma Shebekesa. We learned the Maya before, Chachma Stimah. Yeah, the Maya. And then they say, Makamacha, yeah. Certainly, we got to go to Simon. Hey, Makamacha, the Medaba open his Kes, I think Medaba. Then to make Medaba is Kesa, because Debo comes from the League of Kesa. There, Shama Azal. Nee, ga niet gedaan. No, I don't remember that. Smash my hair. That's what
When David is Malchus makes sense, no?
Yeah, what? Usually, Medaba is Chachman.
Midas.
Yeah, it's amazing. There, Shama Azal. Matat Gershon Summer Game is essentially so that's a stick from the Maimer before. That's when from Ksorim Lakainai that the Matat makes Ksorim crowns because what I Kesa also I want to tell you is what is Kesa. Kesa something made out of precious stone. What stone means it's diamond. Madrega is the thing that's come. Diamond is a lot of Madrega that's come. Gasho who Evan Teva Meir. The Evan, tons of the Evan Teva Meir, and the precious stone that shines as a double yoko, they're the kind of very, very precious. Nasa Kesabatolam, that turns into a crown for the king. Why can you say that Philo Shem because they similar to the aces that feel that are in a level of daemon, because aces alone are daemon. The words themselves don't have any life. Only when you give them content, but the love of themselves are empty, like they're inanimate. When the person says the words of davening with the inspiration, with especially when the excitement is not just Nefesh Elokis, also Nefesh Abam is excited. It is known that Nefesh Abam is a much stronger power. This inspiration. That turns the avonim, the letters of davening, the words of davening, into something shining. And
That's what davening is.
there you yeah. This type of davening is very precious to Hashem's name, and they turn into a kaviyachol ksarim like a crown, like yes, nice Isis Gashmim. Okay, because it says Gashmim, they need the malachim to help. It's a bezoya the government in Menashekwa. It's a zoya that the malachim hog and kiss the Isis. I know Shem Zachachayim.
I'll take the show directly. I just don't have any form of physical pain.
I used it already, but I shot 2 swipes.
It does work.
Every day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, bring it back, please. It cleanses them, they should be able to be a crown. The Inish and Nasim Kessel Kana, what does it mean, Kessel Taka? What does it mean, the Abish's crown? It means Shamamshich and Pranasat and Chodosh. It draw an higher level and new Rotzen, she's saying that Fili Rotzen, Shemush Rotzen Chodosh. Like Beetle Bala Rotzen, Mamshach Rotzen Chodosh. I am Ashakos, but da Rei Nech and Nascent Ein Ches. All this discussion was spoken about in the Maimarei. I know I'm Shachas Chodosh. Shanis am Shachas the Seder Stashas. Change them Shachas the Stashas. You draw a higher level of early key. For example, the is a kessel there. That am Shachas Mitim is a kessel. That's what you learned over. But it says a new point we didn't learn before. I'm Shachas this is a Torah.
Eigen de dingen als ik is a kesser is
It's a nice.
we get to their mind with that.
No, it's a kessel Torah dort in the Maisa mit Rosh Chodosh. Yeah. Nicht noch mal die Gerei.
Wat is voor was is a kesser?
That's still kessel. Kapani, what it says the Allah is so this is at Philip. But I'm shocked that this is at Torah. Kedu at Philip Allah. Ma Torah Allah. I'm shocked. Ma Torah. זהו עניין, ויצק שמן על ראשו, זה says, ויוסם עצם הציר, ויקח מאבני מוקם. ויוסם עצם הציר, ויצם שמן על ראשו, הידיע לא, דאבני מוקם, שמייס התפיל, היה משוך ביסתר, זה זהו יצק שמן, דם שוך הפתר, והי מה שכוסף תראה, בדם שעת בשולם. So this entire concept discussing תראה, מה הם שעת בשולם. Not in the Eves, מה הם שעת בשולם. That's after that we have to learn. Yeah, זהו צווי שויס, יעקב, okay, going back. Started the whole thing to explain the concept of Tzaveh Shois Yaakov because he's talking about Shin Ein Ha'eri. Because Yeshua he says what Tzaveh Shois Yaakov. Im shachne Shin Ein Ha'eri shem Pnimis HaKesel im shachagil ad Lamat. So that he drew that level of Pnimis HaKesel ad Lamat in Eikev Liya Shazeh the Avodah Pnimis HaBir Lamat Shadezeh Gil Lamat because the Avodah is to Bir Lamat that is why the Gil is Lamat. No. How did we get in this entire discussion? Because I started talking about Pishton, that says Vayosha Hashem el Evel min Chosei, about Kain Loisho. So Sho, he started saying Sho Yosha is Meloshin Vayosha Yisha means the Indian of Shinayin Ha'ir. I'm sure Shinayin Ha'ir. So Shinayin Ha'ir is the pool of Yaakov. Now he jumps back to Tzemel Pishton. He started talking about the different Kain and Hevel. Kain, what Pishton, and Hevel, what the Tzemel. So after he finished discussing this Shinayin Na'irin, he goes back to Kain and Hevel, to Tzemel Pishton.
What is the number
So there are two opinions. There's Shinayin, hey, next Shinayin, hey, so that's steering that. It's emotion. I know what it's Shinayin. I know. I'm not. You need to put the certain Shin Ein. I must be up steps to that. And my mom said Shin Ein. Shin is the Shleshme is the Meichin, and Ein is the Midas. I call it. Yeah. Always not even in the Shatne. Well, not even in the Shatness. After we finish discussing this, we go back to Yitzhak Shat. Shatness Shoya Toivoy Venos. So it's very big kids what he's saying here. The Shoya is a remnant of the Shinayin maybe. Hainu, what's it? Hainu Shemeakev Umeneya Pchinas Hamshach Havagil from Shinayin. It's a remnant. The Toivoy Venos is a certain ikuv. The Shat is Meakev. This Hamshach of Shinayin Ha'erim, which is the Vayosha Hashem, who al yidei shema'arav tzemel b'shniya. Ma'akesher. It doesn't discuss it. Another question. We're going to move. Do it. Some pishtim chesed l'gvura. Some pishtim is get chesed l'gvura. שזה גם כן kain ve'evel. L'chayra ta'orev is in a scalus. They mix, it means a scalus, combination. Gedosha the scalus the word Misham Shemar Shamal Mishtashis. Punkt verkehrt, the union of ta'orev is a mile. It's mamshich from mile Mishtashis. And then Mos Yaakov B'Ovis, that is Yaakov, as the B'chir Shabbos is the most chosen from the Ovis because of the compared to Avram and Yitzchak, because זהו כל מיילס התיקון, פרינס התיקון, וסקאוס האחרון. יהיה לי, יש את אחר. מקום דו. ווידס. לא הולכים לצוות.
יש לזה כבר.
יש, יש כאלה חסד הגבור, וזהו כל מה פרינס התיקון שפרינס הפך לחסד הגבור, כמו שכל זה כתר ברבין. לא מה בתאור וסתם בפגישים, חסד הגבור עד
ויש כאלה פרינס.
לא שתי דעות, אין בייס?
אין בייס.
לא צריכים דבר.
פרינס.
מגיע זה אנחנו עושים את זה, שפתנו גם סביכו. זהו, כל מה פרינס התיקון שפרינס הפך לחסד הגבור. כתוב לקטטר, איך כתוב לקטטר? בלי ווב או עם ווב?
Heb je dat secretaire daarin?
Nee,
bio.
Bio de weinig.
Wees goed aan. Daar is de tweede wat gebleven.
No, oké. Waarom bouwen we het samen binnen? Het gaat gewoon, Adam en hem zeggen van Schneider. So we have to understand why Bichlal we always talk the mile of his cows. Se kommt zu das, mit der Mol sag ich so. Nicht nur das Versorgung, es mein näher. Bestimmt. Oh, wenn זה צבא תחילה, שיש מסות משקל. So the truth is that we just said Samuel Pishta Chesed Gvura, but really we have to get deeper. To get to the shirish, really has the pishtim come from a higher level. In the perceive, it says in Pasuk in Atikem in Yosef, Vushik like Shiva, that is here, the heel of his head is like clear wool. What's meant? So that's Cyrus the Arich Hanpin, so that's Maram is at Madrig, which is called Cyrus Arosh Darich Hanpin.
Ik ga er dan pas op het zo'n van uit te komen.
Dat is dat. Ja, Arich Hanpin zit niet. Dat is pas ik in de Niel. Arich Hanpin is. Ik denk Yosef, Levushik het like fever. Ik denk
dus niet altijd Arich Hanpin.
It's just different bonus. Yeah, I made a point. What do you say now? I actually pointed out the first time I read it. The pasuk talks about Atikim, but I guess the pasuk in the Kabbalah language is not exactly, doesn't exactly fit. Okay. Welke pasuk alleen was?
Het hoofd ook weer pasuk.
Ja, ook heb je wat gevolgd. Het Levushik het like fever. Het like fever. Immer steht ein Pasuk dort.
Als je geweest, die Horse van Remiel, laat ik hem in je zeven, de Horse is like fever.
Sorry, come on the cake. Yeah.
Horse is
Kurse means the chair, shriven the nose, sparks of fire.
Galgilo nur dole.
The wheels?
Yeah.
The wheels?
Yeah. It's a dream. Yeah. Call it. Sagt er weiter, da, wenn es da Arich Hanpin, wenn es Chesed der Atik, Melovish begolgol. Chesed Mati, Chesed, the Atik is Malubish and Golgolta in the skull. Lachain, Cyrus, Arosh, Kichin. In Kichin, in you say later, there is a difference. The Cyrus Arosh are more soft. Yes, it's Chesed, because they're going to Chesed. That's why it's like clear wool. Should stand up in Chesed. Should stand up in a Chesed. Chesed. Wine, Prince Chesed, that came a little bit of gold. I have a lot of Prince Chesed.
So,
Hey, Lama Chazert from Campaign.
no,
What?
eu,
Come on, the Koi. Wine came in December Prince Chesed. Wine, the Prince Chesed, that came the Malubish of gold, but the gold Prince Chesed with tape. Ain't a size of Prince Chesed, which got to be sealed, but took the Zimmer, and paused like a nice and shell like a summer.
Bueno, nicht nur die Seite ist nur alleine
What's his bell?
Alexander. Die Gogalte mensen.
Fine. Call it.
Dat een Gogalte prinses de TV. Geen Seite de Gogalte prinses.
Okay. Maar is tzaddik sich des kosa, aber halt Zema Prinus Chasadim Tchur. Okay, so first is Chasadim was already said earlier. The Chiddush here is that the Sheirish is in Chesed Da'arit. I don't know why he brings it to my exactly. Hashem Pishtan Gvura. Okay, so interesting. He says Pishtan Gvura, but then whatever he says later has nothing to do with Gvura. That's what's funny. Pishtan Gvura Kamoishe Kosu doesn't say anything about the Gvura. No, actually, סליחה, נקודה. זה גבורה משקעת מררס, באלף ציף מהם, period. So Pishtan is gvura. So Tzemar is chesed and Pishtan is gvura. That he said already earlier. Look, he said right earlier. Hey, Nambun, I do that Tzemar Pishtan chesed gvura. That's not the Chiddush. The Chiddush here is that Tzemar is chesed, the arich. Pishtan is gvura, the at, but he doesn't say it clearly. You do the Pishtan ikabat, Pishtan is
Gvura Dati.
better with us.
Gvura Dati.
Yeah. Pishtan, okay. I do the Pishtan ikabat. Pishtan is called bad. What bad means? Gedelim bad bevad. They grow individually. I know kanim yachidim. Individual stalks. That way, Pishtan, which is flax, is different than all the rest of the other vegetations. And like in wheat, you have one stalk as a bunch of seeds. Pishtan is different. What does it mean? Pishtan, the level that's why physically it expresses itself in unity. Not only the ultimate source of this Pishtan is Yachid, which is above Echad. You do have his name, so it explains that see this difference between Yachid and Echad. Echad is the supporting. Echad means something one that's a unity of specifics, and Sheyesham Potim and Shemisardim. There are details, they are specific, but they unite. But Yachid means that he's unique and he doesn't have, it's a pure one without any combination. Because who Indian, another name to it is what it says in the Pasuk, the Antochad Velobachushman. It's a type of number which is Labachushman. It's not counted, it's not separate. It's Chad Be'etz. What does it mean in Kabbalah language? So that's the union of bad. Archant is also Ardus, but Ardus now Archant is like Echad, it's Ardus supporting. Ein Prince, but in Atzilus, Heim Sham, Prince Ardus. Yeah, the bottom of Atzilus, the spheres of Atzilus, the way they are in Arich Anpin Shesh Netzolim, they are in a state of unity. Like famous pasuk in Chayesor Meir Shana, it's a Shana Lashon Yochid. Yesh Misbar Meir upon him. Akshem Prince Ardus, Chen Nema Shana. So that's the point that in that Arich Anpin is Ardus supported. Because of the Zoya, I guess the Zoya is taka there in Chayesora, I think. This Kutshubricho, this Kal, Masari Lo, but it's kind of scholars is combined the side from the high location steam or seeming but rather the mayor brochen that's connected to the mitzvah of high one the mayor broch it's mayor shon right the side hunting it's not about hunting when von echt aber artig von das gaat von das joch in beet so that's a reason arg not sehr that's bad going back to other discussion what is bad what's linen Amayali Chidus means one.
Pistol is bad.
Yeah, Pishtan about the same thing. That's what it says. Yeah. It's just start saying in the beginning. Pishtan Nikra bad. Lachin, aber es kann gerade im Kippur, so ist big the Bagdad. This is why the way it's going to be Kippur, darf big the bad. This im Kippur, wenn es ein Kessel, der Pimisat, im Kippur, aber es ist also Pimisat. Muss quasi bin, see the Bedal, aber in Masher, im Kippur. Das ist Pimisat Kessel. Lachin im Kippur, in Bechel, Stier. It's right. Shazam Adegal, but Elamaba, but Adegalini, it's the higher level of Elamaba, but not the Elamaba was the Sauda. It's higher than the Sauda. The Elamaba in Beyachiloshtia, and therefore Steiner got to build the Mughal was what. Well, the Madega of Elamaba, Shane Beyachiloshtia is Steiner got.
Is the time of the time of the
Yes, Steiner got Mughal, which is Chilo, also the Gushbach has Sauda Sadikim, Steiner Shane Mughal in Beyachiloshtia. So, it's a big debate, and I'm because of what I said, we didn't keep. Discussing this whole concept, but going back to our discussion, now, so what did we, the summary, what we just learned, Samuel, pished in base Madrigal Shebekes. זה מה שמעניין פה, מתאמור, because before it bought the Ma'arer that it's chesed and gvur, now it goes back to the second thing. Yeah, now, so the share of Tzemel Bishti is not just chesed and gvur, it's higher, it's based on Madrigal Shebekes. And it's atik, arich ante v'atik, Tzemel pnes, sarin reisha kamane kei pnes, reisha de arich, that is Tzemel, arich, Bishti pnes antachar, is a pnes atik.
Und dann redet er für den Gura weiter?
Ja, später. הנה, זה לא מזר סליקים. מה זה מסביק? זה צריך את השננה איזה. הנה, זה לא מזר סליקים. זה concept, פאריך הנעתיק, זה לא מזר סליקים. They have created parallel in the side of clip. שם שיש פרנסה בייה בקדושו, has to have the פרנסה בייה אין אסספרס בקדושו, כמו כן, יש פרנסה בייה באסספרס זה קליפ. רק שאין ליפה מן הקדוש. רק שאין ליפה מן הקדוש. אלא מה עבדת? בטח שאין ליפה מן הקדוש. זה כל דבייה, אבל זה the opposite of הקדוש. אבל זה the opposite means the way it operates. הנה, בדיוק, בסדר שטר שלו זה קדוש הוא... בסדר שטר זה קדוש שבעציר צריכים take of forever הגילוי. The take of forever הגילוי, the ultimate expression of הליכוס, נציל, ובבריאה, מסמית הרבה. In the Labria, the diminishes. In the class of Stars of Gdusha, when I Kav, for the class of Stars of Gdusha is a result of the Era Kav. The way a Kav is Nimsham and so, it's drawn, it's pulled from the Ensof Share, the Nimsham Chodal Dem Sabiyah is drawn and pulled into all the Ulam Sabiyah. The Shagam Bibiyah is Bimakav, which means even Ulam not only Natzils, not Ulam is Biyitzirasi. Because we're going to get Simcha, that's explained in the Shaor, as a Kavamer became Razatil's Boka, Parsi Mod. The Osaka broke through the curtain, the Parso, Mayor Bambat Bariak Matil. So the Haor of Kav Mayor Matil. No, was Ramakava Kava Atsmoy, Mr. Besha Saoros, a Berashon Shamadavia. That says in Gasakadesh. But still, Ika Osaka, Batil, the ultimate Osaka Batil, Shemay Shambagil Mamish, but Gil Mahus. Natil, the type of Gil is like Gil Mahus. You know what it is. My Shank can be Bria, Shane Meshamus. Bria, it's not Maymus. Capacity when it's a brim of second. Kasha Batil, Shane Meshamus, Actress with Silva.
She goes to the Boca.
The Daor, this Daor is there. Okay. Und Dr. Mashon, der Fremde Brille Zier, es war der Jesus. Und vom Brille Zier, der Eure also diminishes, etc. And see. Change the mispar and also it also applies to the numbers. That's an interesting observation. All numbers, and we had it also in one of my more earlier. Atzilus name calls us from Kesser the Malchus. Atzilus, all the spheres shine. By Schenken, it says Bria, I aim a mechanical side. Bria, it only starts from Bina. The sphere above Bina is not there. Aber the mind process anyway Bria. Das wird time the Bina not on this matter everybody. The Bina blocks. It's like curtain that blocks anything above Bina.
Bina Nasset.
Yes, Masach Gabi Bria. Because Bina is like a curtain that blocks Kaviyachal the Chachma.
So they only get from Bina.
Exactly, Bina below. That's why the Mispar is lower. You don't have all the essence. Yeah. Beitzir, Rakshit is feeling can be Tzir. And the Tzir is even less, only the 6. Or Beresia, that's Malch. That's the way it is in the world of Abiyad Dush. Out to the clip, who like compared to in clip, it's the opposite. Atzil is the clip, the Shalish is a mere to oil. Which oil? That's a new thing. I remember I was still saying something concept called oil clip. The oil clip is less in Atzilus of clip. Why? The Shalish is a mere to oil. You do it. Oil from clip, yeah. You do it. The clip of that too. So you know,
maybe it's not oil the clipper. Maybe the oil the
you'll see it,
is
the
the
next line.
Chalishus in the
It says in the
Chilus.
next line. It's lower in the next line. 1 second. The next line. You know the clip of that seals. We know almost upon this beetle. Actually, beetle primorish. So in that seals, in that clip of that seals, there is a beetle. In that seals, the lumas. But it's Uma. The beetle is Uma. The morgus. See the tambot. Yeah. There, but. So that's not seals the clip. Homash, well, matam is gaba yosa koyer ve'oira clip. You see, the word oira clip is here. Very bad mispar yosa. And also the number increases. Moi bria the clip, but take if I yesh is yes matzil the clip. So the yesh is stronger than the bria. Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah, can be there. Ada see the clip, but take if yes. Erech take if I the gdusha princess gdusha, just like the gap between the Eretz of Gdusha. And I see the Gdusha, kach take I see the clip, Eretz is the clip. Get the Eretz is the clip. Language, it's not, students very rarely use such language. So that's the word. Mike Mispar is Zechet. Mispar also, the numbers also are the opposite. That the clip of that seal is be mute and Mispar be in the clip of that seal is what's made there only a mute of clip. Shane Meshamak is 9 tachtain is the clip. Because only those 7 lower dogs of clip shine in that seal is the clip. Oh, but Bria, mit Teis of the clip. And the Bria of clip, there's a more, there's Chub also. It's there's also Chachmobina, the full-time sphere. Oh, but it's here, mit Teis of the cancer the clip. And that's in the clip. Yeah. Ubitzir mit Teis of the cancer the clip. Kamoi, what do we see the Indian of what's the concept of cancer the clip? Antoration the Dav, also the same in the dream of Nepsa, not the same, it's the same, I don't think it's the same. Say that Antoration the Dav, you are the head, the golden head, which is that's the cancer the clip. I see the clip, and Magman is acting the clip. That's also a new thing. It's not new, it's also unique. Sometimes it says Chassidus, before less lahu, that clippers don't have the parallel to Arctic and Yeshida. But here in this Maimon, there's discrepancy in that. Sometimes Chassidus says, before less low, and more state is Arctic the clipper. I don't know how to reconcile with it.
Dat in het business service. So in Chile, we do Keller Yeshidoshi.
Yeah, with Keller Yeshidoshi.
In Chile, zeg de Yeshida.
Yeah, that's what they do. Exactly. So that's Arctic the clipper. What Tainuk the clippers? There's the difference. The difference in Kesser, Arich and Atik the clip, but the Atik the clip is the kind of clip that curious, Shagoroi, the Asa Machapirim Sahmis with pilots.
I know this. Because
Yeah.
I was the talking.
The time, I would initially space. This is the
Yeah, okay.
the
storm.
dot, it's comfortable, it's Zui.
And watch the telephone.
Yeah, exactly. So what's interesting here, he says, well, practically speaking, curious and chmimus in clip. So curious is the worst. Curious means indifference, apathy. He's good. He's not interested in anything. That's worse than being verkocht neged. So verkocht neged, so the koch can be transformed into good. But if it's apathy,
And the briquettes are the
yeah.
briquettes.
Wohin chela vedam.
Just get a boss of the.
Chela is tainig and dam is chmimus. Yeah, exactly. It's called what is the reason why we see that what we just said? When it comes to Kedusha, so the higher Atzil says the more oil, and Atzil is less oil. When it comes to Klippa, it's the opposite. Why is the reason for that? What's the reason for that? It's from the big Kedusha going on the eine bit because the Kedusha and the side of Kedusha, the essence of it is bittul, an eine bittul. The self nullification. Okay, come as a curve, yes, in soft, church marker cab. The closer you are to the in soft, one state of bit, mayor Shamar Bagilbias, of mele, the areas shine stronger. Come as an struggle in soft, a bit is might a bit. The further you away, so you have less beetle and you have less air. Okay, the boy is a good of the stronger is the higher matrix. מה שנמשך למטה מסמך יותר הקדוש, מה שאין כן. In the low מדרגת, the הקדושה diminished. אבל סתרה אחר עניינו, או רק כנס הישוס והחומריוס. סתרה אחר is the opposite. Its ultimate being is ישוס החומריוס. Ego and materialism. כמו שאומר, עשב יש לי רוב. יש לי רוב עם בית הזכן. He's rated, he has the chumris and he has the yesh. Okay, Atzil the klipa, sheneged Atzil the kedusha, and it's chlisha the mir yesh. Because Atzil the klipa is the parallel to Atzil the kedusha. B'meile, it has the bittul, so b'meile it has less of the klipas, less of the yeshus and chumris. Sheneged Atzil the kedusha, it's chlisha the mir yesh. There is like a Roma, there is bit, that's why it has less oira clip, whatever oira clip means. Choma sher lamati is of his gabas, it says. But then there is a way it is in this oilness. Chem best sphere is also a sphere of clip to the Ulma Zogdusha in the Begdusha, when it's static, it's not in stuff. Who prinas ein mamish, but it's a mose. So the Indian of Atik in Gedusha, that's Etzem, the Etzem oil, Atzma Salim. When she goes to Besido, the Pirush Baruch Shoma, being in Radlo, Pirush Shoma, in the Siddur, now to have a Siddur, in Baruch Shoma, and being in Radlo, Rishad Leisiyad, Leiyad of Leisiyad, the Shein of Kismos Yador Ba'atzma. It's above Yador Ba'atzma even. He doesn't even know himself because it's higher than the idea is already an expression. It's Etzem, it's pure essence. Finally, is the Atik Shemach themselves Nasa Atik, like Silas Canada. Okay, ein Veda und jetzt Gamba. But I don't know what he wants. I don't know if it's the Insaf. Okay, maybe Mach the Insaf, which is the Insaf itself. Okay. Knas Arich, ma schenken Arich, Knas Oyer, war eine Sheine Atik, Knas ist Pasch Sauerwat. We bring this to the clippers, right? That's how it's Agdom. As in Dusha, Atik is the ultimate Etzem oil, and Arich is a lower Madriga. Arich is not the lowest. Arich is lower than Atik. Arich is oil. It's Pasht, Eida Atik. It's Pasht over. Gampnes Arich called Shein of Mitzvah. That's I don't know what short said. Gampnes Arich called, but Shein of Mitzvah. What's the result? That's what it's called. Oh, okay. Once the Vagam is the beginning of the next sentence. Vagam, Prinas Arich, the Yachas to the Madriga Shalamata Menu, or a call, but let's skip for a second the Das Kotzigel.
Laut in
Schenken Batzilus, was mit Zielser, so von Begut, von der Dunde, von der Kennen. Die Mische. Agel, das Mamisch, going to Christus for Kennen. But the gam means even, first of all, Arctic is at similar. Arch is like a pashtas, but even that is a call about smutzim. I'm thinking that Zielus is this pashtas already for Kennen. Let's read that Chatziribua, Chatzigel, the Chlav, the state. It's Chaim Shamim Mahal, of Zeph, Toyu Vavoyu. Says that two madrigas of Atik and Nach, Toyu Vavoyu. Toyu Shein Shem Timashim. Toyu Vavoyu Kila Dalet Sul. The Dalet, you say this. That's Heilig. I mean, it basically brings the concept of Vavoyu. Okay, the point is he's trying to make here is going. He brings all this in to explain the opposite in the world of Lumas. That's Atzilus the Lumas. It's Atzilus the Lumas that Zayin Tachtein is the clip. Means it's the low level of clip. It's Miuteish. Not that much yes. It's stuck a certain, it's doing like a negative thing, but L'Shem Shemaim, it's mute yeshus. It still does some kind of connection. Sheyesh b'gam ken kavan L'Shem Shemaim. Zeh b'es zayin tachtein is the essence. Feel the clip, but shopnes atzil the clip kana. As chub the clip, b'chinas feel the yisa. I think chub the clip as a higher, as a stronger level of separation from God.
Also, we are on ourselves, or it's already real.
No, that's real. That's real. Yeah. Kenish is kind of not what marish. So when you get to Atzilus, we say L'Shem Shemaim. Hashem can this is already a low level. It's kind of bottom marish. That Nachash was jealous of other marish. That's a low. That's a more gesh. Why bon Nachash al Chav? So because bon Nachash al Chav because it's kind of
he was jealous.
yeah. The Kether the Klipper, then the Kether Klipper is even lower. So there'll be Tzilch and a spirit it's even lower, it's more evil, it's more separation. The Gemara said that the certain Nos of Ein of Migdash Rishon V'Echriva, not just jealousy of Adam, Bal Chava, Echriva, Machorog Mesamigdash. That's a worse level.
Yeah.
I think the clip which is the Asiya, that's the ultimate Ra. What is it? You do it because in Makif in the clip it's the Derechagav says they know that in clip is good for Makif is worse than Pnimi. What's covered? The covered that the Kaiva and Kovet was Kaiva's Pnimi. Kovet is Maki, Kovet and Kaiva, because Kovet is Maki that affects the person worse. It doesn't. The Kin and Kaiva paid the face. My Malbusha Kovet Shenegeya Benefesh Abba Yesa. So the Malbusha Kovet being well dressed, that's a lot of places. I have to say this, and it's all similar. The Malbusha Kovet that being well dressed, being well dressed is worse than other types of deals. No, the Asher is verbunden. Ja, mehr versteht give the ärger wie market is there. And of course, as the putzer, there is and I'm based also. Not ein Bey, wenn mein Mann ein Gimel, das Jacobson schreibt in seine Refrains. Aber ich habe gesagt, ein Gimel, und gesagt, dass Moshe covered is well gesagt. People put a putzer is ärger wie about type. I mean, I find it hard to relate in a way, but I mean, I don't understand putzer obviously, but it sounds like over there that because it comes from a deeper place and the mark of the nefesh, more into it.
Yeah, the nefesh have the
the nefesh have the nefesh. which goes with that, was is a tzitz. זה sagt er, מקיף מגוף, מבחינת עתיק, מקיפים בכלל, is was the pninim, and since עתיק is more מקיף than אריך, ומילא עתיק is קליפה קושה ביסר. ואפשר שזהו עצם הישו שאין בדיר תיקן כלל. There's the ultimate yeshus that can be repaired at all, עם שבירות זה תקנוס. The lower level of sleep, the tires, they can be misbar. We can transform it into something positive. But this clip of COVID is impossible to transform into good. You just have to destroy it. Kamoi, so brings two dugmois. So clip is medium lost modern reeve, which costs more than a holzer. So in my more than holzer, and not also not, and also it talks about the median is such a bad clipper that it's the only way to median, destroy it, not transform it. That's one marshal. Now also come clipper some molik. Similar molik, is curious. But it's not close. It's not precise. It says kamoi median and kamoi molik. That's what's much. I don't know. Yeah, someone says Mulligan got the clipper. I'm not sure exactly how the puzzle fits here, but the general idea is understood. There's certain aspects of clipper which is not impossible to repair. Only have to destroy them. So number one, we just said the Bakifin dort the Busha covered. It doesn't say the Busha covered. Malbusha covered, and then median, which is machloikas.
Busha covered that is and the nidrike dager.
Yeah, but it says giving goof of class article because she is Busha covered. Yeah. So we have the Etzem we have median, and we have Amaleks. All three of them are an example of something which cannot be transformed, only destroyed. So that's option number one. So he started saying the efsha. He didn't say it. So efsha, the efsha is there. That was the only one option. Then he says yeshloi, gam yeshloi, there's another way to look at it. No, differently. Maybe we can say no, that it's possible that this.
There are people kosher.
Yeah. Can sein that this is will is balos. It's two options. Option one is after ein kim shvos et konas ve gam yeshlei mas that is khab is balos. The levels of khab khab the toy is balos.
In a filu klipa tabiru.
And that's why that I'm not sure, because when you talk gam yeshlei get nicht. So he said two options. Number one is no, he started saying what's
exactly.
In other words, es kann sein, dass die Klippe koscher von Ati, das jetzt einmal erst so in Medien und Malach gehen. Gar nicht an anderer Pschat. So es sind redt nicht wegen Medien und Malach. Es redt nicht wegen exactly. So anders als Kachab. Das geht ja weiter sagen, dann kannst du einmal Autor. So. Not in the current life that we have, the current situation, what part of us is soul do we have? Only Eretz Zayin moment, Eretz Sheva Umas, which means in Avodah Zayin Midas. Now we can transform Zayin Midas. But Kahab the Toyu, Shein Kenik Nizi V'Kadmoini, Yev Shal Yisbarach Shov. That we cannot elevate now, we cannot refine now. But Mashiach comes, it is going to be elevated. Now we can do it, but in the future, there will be elevated. That's why they will inherit all 10 lands, also which is really the Kachab. וזהו אמן המויב. וואלדה, זה אמן המויב, שחוב דקליפה. זה ממש לא מתאים. הפוזל לא מתאים. פריאר תגזת חוב דקליפה זה יצירת. יוד, דויז משמע, חוב דסה the Hechster. ksiv al totzeres moyov. That's why it says al totzeres moyov. And ksiv al bnei aman kloyet lachem bnei aman Yerusha. Shezeo sheizbar lo'os. אז יש שתי famous מימה על תוצר, מתערב. היינו כאשר, גילו, בנס הכסף בכלל, עתיק, בפרש, זה הגילו דלעוסית, כוסף. כמו שכוסף, ולכתר בספר, ובהביר, כל דבר כזה, ובהביר, כתר בספר, דוס, ובהביר, ובהביר.
Just playing Behabir.
No, it's possible. If my memory serves me right, the Torah B'Sefer is the beer of Shemaim HaChadosh. Wo be'abir steht?
Nein,
Steht nicht, huh?
erste Schule zu tun.
Was steht? Playing Behabir.
בספר, בהביר.
Be'abir, was ist das? ולעוסי נסגר לבחינת פנימיוס עתיק. והוא עניין חדש של סוף התורה של עוסי, עוד במילא הסבר גם מבחינת עתיק בקליפה הנ"ל.
So I think it's different.
One second. You see how the puzzle is a little confusing here? It says, was ist der Klippe-Punkt? Der Klippe ist Attic. Wie kommt der Amen am Moab nach Chub? Der Puzzle stimmt nicht.
אפשר זאת ככה.
Ja, Kachav, ich weiß, aber der Poel Amen am Moab ist Moabin. Also sagt das. Und wo ist, was ich kenne, sagt das nicht. Kann ich nicht sagen, das ist ein Dritter. Was Amen am Moab? Adam, Adam ist der Dritter. Wer ist der Dritter? Adam is near. Can you please look at money? Is like the Ever Yard. No, Adam is echt never. Adam is in the south. That cook the mime of thoughts as my call it. So the okay.
בכלל בנזות זין מידוס. זין מידוס is the Atzilus declip.
Yeah.
Einzige Zeit.
Yeah, okay.
Einzige Zeit. Was for a Biro of Mir, non liegen from Atzilus declip, that's it.
Yeah.
Anything above the Zine Midas, the Zine Tachtenus,
יציר אסיר, בריא יציר אסיר ביום משתת, according to this.
auch vier, und die Brie und Asir,
Haben wir nicht jetzt.
beide reingerechnet in Kachab die Klippe und das ist nicht toll. Von was bringt er du, du darfst ja schon an den Mäuer?
But the pale, das steht nicht, aber was bringt es?
Das noch
Nicht dort.
Ich gucke die Klippe, wo der hat ich
Nicht dort, sagen wir. Bringt, was nicht dort, bringt, was steht.
Das steht demonstriert,
Was?
Samole, Video.
Nein, aber man muss nicht gesagt, גם יש להם, du bist sagen,
Aber sie sind die Marquis.
aber praktisch, according to this, auch, dass Medien normal wird nicht bar werden lassen, ist nicht. Ich habe gefragt, dann letzten Mal gesagt, steht nicht, nee, bei einem Schalom und Teure, das ist doch, also normal gesagt, da, so was mit Medien, wer ist Medien, wer ist nicht. Ja, ist ja. Okay, the other is ziemlich Punkt. Okay, so what did we finish saying? The whole concept of the clip, the what's artigar, the clip, that's the all laws Madrigan clip. I'm not going back. And now even is a shot in the time of Fishton. Now we understand why we can't have shots. Why? Well, it's time of the Dusha, Madrigan Showcase of Atik Vari. What is the Dusha? Atik Vari, Masha, kind of Fishton. Slime is the Atik the clip. Fishton von Kain is given. Verstehst du mir Atik the clip? Well, kein, mit das verstehe ich nicht. Das Sentence makes no sense. Weil kein Taroi, wir sagen, wo bist du mir näher gedacht, wahrscheinlich näher. Wie kommt Taroi bis da? Wer hat wegen Taroi bis da? Hatte ich nach der Klippe, ja.
Atik die Klippe mit einer Dusche.
Nein.
What did Hevel bring?
Was hat er wohl gebracht?
Crazy? Ja.
Wow,
puzzle לא תואם בדיוק.
Temmer op iets te douchen, de redelijke meters en dat achter zo klein nee, give
הנה נסבר לעיל. Ich habe geguckt in einem Maimer, das müssen wir einfach mal mit Base. Zuerst einmal, das nicht gut. Das erste Mal im Schatten ist jetzt ein Sido. Sido, gucken die alle mal morgen schon. Da in einem Eimer schreibt das sehr, sehr beremmt. Es gibt das Schmaß. Später, weiter sagt er noch Sachen. Ihnen ist, weil in die Schuhe, lass mal sehen, ihnen ist, weil in die Schuhe, das gab es doch jetzt auch, boah, in die Schuhe ist es für Schuhe ist nicht am Chesed, die gab es was da gewollt. Also, wenn es schon einmal ist da gewollt, schon einmal was da gewollt. Ich kenne bekommt nicht statt. Und es Chesed schon einmal was da gewollt. Chesed ist above gewollt, Meile ist Chesed gewollt gewollt. Jesus, ich Giller, ich muss ganz sagen, der Chesed ist schon da am Elo, der eine Tchil ist der Giller, ich muss bin. Chesed is the first Giller. ולכן חסד יהיה מדעזם כליימת, חסד is the one bring the spirit, goes with all the spirits. By there, Giller, the finish in ein Eirin, is the Pirush of the Almighty. Also steht in there, the service, Almighty Loi, the Binan shows, the Giller, the first Giller after Binan, that's the much of a fault upon him. Der Giller, der Giller, finish in ein Eirin, gab את החסד הגבור. כמוי, עכשיו זרק לנו משהו פרקטי, כמוי, למה לא איזה, אין יכול. עדי סיום מיילו, יכול. So that's the Indian that the Shinai Aaron helps is Harehu, it's that type of what? Okay. אבל בדגש הגבור נורמל מהחסד, כמוי בצמר, פה אומר את זה, כמוי בצמר, פישטון דצמר, פרינס חסד, חצודים דה, פישטון, גבור דעתי כנל, he never said that. The only thing he said earlier was that gvur and then it's atik, but he doesn't say the gvur datik.
Okay, but the datik is done.
Nein, the gvur datik. Will doch sagen the gvur. Das heißt ein gvur. גם בלום הזה, נכנס לי לגיבה, אבל כמה תרבש שלהם יסגע בסגבור על החסר, נכנס כמה ועשתה ביוס. תרבש, אז יכול להיות שזה באמת... בוא, סיפרת מסתר מתוומן. פשטי, אבל בוא זאת.
Normaal, is Kalabos de Gesed de Boeren, is de Gesed is...
Geuvel, Gesed geuvel. Dat is de Boeren.
Als je de rechtsaf is Kalabos, de Boeren is een actie.
No.
Toch eigenlijk zat hem daar.
De mail is de Boeren geuvel. Het is niet dus het in klippen, dat is maar zo maar dood.
Even de vijf, alles in klippen, even dus hè?
Schering dus echt.
Ja, maar de klippen...
Ja, dat tweemaal, dat angeben. Nehmen wir sagen, sagt der Clip.
Gaan benoemen ze presentatie de klippen.
Okay, aber da haben wir es
Ja, die klippen toch.
Weil wir sagen Clip, es als Clip, was ist dann für was? Wir fahren die Maschine bei Leo, von der die Clip, etwas bei Lacht, aber Leute, sie gehen von der in Kein, wir haben schon, es gab es geworden der Clip. So what's funny, it sounds like when we're shooting is now, the piston now is where the clip. Which clip is it? Clip the left. It's not the show was at mess. Agam she's בעל יודם שאנחנו נשנם פרנס עתיק. זה גדול סחסוד, אם מקום אין זה גדול פרנס מעתיק ממש, זה דווקא לא עושה. Alright. מתעין נצריק. פה זה הוא, דליגוי, שפישתם שורש המדרגה בו אמור התחנסחת החושבו, כן, בו למטה, נסתיב בקושו ויש, נסעתיק the clip. So basically what he says here again, now he says another the hair. That why taka is the atik the clip the lowest because the concept the highest. But the not much because of Chaim. I'll tell you because of Chaim HaKadosh when you put pnei area pnei shur. The concept of Chaim. It's the Rabak in the Chaim. The Chaim says why pnei area is a Chayat Meya and pnei area la yamin. Why is he mean Chayat Meya? The answer is verkehrt. The Balder does say, hey, that's why you can go so low. In the male, Bashenka Pnei Shoyer, which my smile is Chayat Meya. Chaim HaKadosh.
Ja, maar dat is brengen van Erachaim.
Yes, aber was der Chaim? Aber bringt sich nach Chassidus nach Sache. Ze, weil kein Osel Chassid is a meine B'Yesod. So male, because it comes from a higher level, it has more power. That's why it's mining Yesod. בפרט שאין השאר בזה ביר, הרי זה מניע משהו של השנה נראה. That's why, אבל קין וחוסר לא ישור. זה מה שמעניין בקין. קין זה פישטם בלי צמר בכלל. אז the shaw from kind, the eder המשוך of shenai noir. That's the important thing, what he said before, with tzitzis, וכן בגדי כהונה בשעס עבודה, אותר כליים. שזה כמו שם בשעס מקדושה, כמו שכלומר. Because that's כמו שם בשעס מקדושה, over there, it's shenai noir, אין נסגר בסך הסודים, there's no clippers, there's no wood. זה שם הרז"ל, בספק, there's the climb, נילויז ומייליס. ומייליס הוא. So it says about that whoever wills climb, he does bad things for himself or the Eibishter. בתייססיון, בשם הרמב"ם, מה כתוב פה? כתוב פה משהו. בתייססיון, בשם הרמב"ם, חפר מילה.
Those showmen as also.
It does the climb.
What's the nitrogen?
Huh?
Novels are made.
I'm not pleased them some of them.
Yeah.
There's not after some. I compare it as the climb, Nimmels und Melis.
Yeah. Who? Who? Steht hier who?
Ja.
Nur weiter.
Ubetes.
Ubetes. Oh, Ubetes.
What's novels are made is exactly right.
I forgot. I look. When we learned it yesterday, I knew it. Means he does something bad. I don't know. Guck in Forschung. Anyway, dann nannte ich noch einmal. Kannst nachgucken.
But this is only by crying, the clip, but the cloud sharpness. That's the gvor. Why should be a problem? It's likbera, sachasodim, it's colorless.
So I'm saying it's because the shirt is higher, so that it's the gvur is stronger. No, that's what they say. Oh, you lose. Wer schreibt das?
What's novels?
The Pirush Rambam
Separate.
To break this around. The Nilos the Melis, who know it in the Emes, who Marchi Krachmek of the Gorov.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Because he wants to bring out this Rachmek. Weil ihm nie am Schoch anal, kein Batel, was überschattet von ihm, ich an Jahre. יש לנו פה באמת, לא ברור לנו בדיוק, איך, צריך לחשוב על זה עוד.
אצל יצחוק, כל העניין היה תגברס, החסודים, יצחוק, גבורס, תגברס, החסודים.
אוקיי, טוב, אוקיי, שכוייך.